But you should look for young ladies that are distinctly feminine, that are pursuing what God made them for.
Yeah.
They're pursuing excellence in what God made them for. And what God made women for was to be helpers, to sustain, and to nurture.
Yeah.
Those are the things that God made women for. We just did one on what kind of young man should a young lady be interested in, and be seeking to attract.
Let's flip it.
Let's do the other
do the
way.
other side of it.
What kind of young lady should a young man be interested in and pursuing?
Brother, I honestly really thought you hit it on this issue of godly ambition. And so you talked about feminine ambition. As a woman, what should she be looking for? Our culture just pushes any ambition, worthy ambition is to be in the sphere of men and to be men and to look like men. And it all leads to androgyny. It's just like we're all going to be the same. Men need to look like women and women need to look like men. And that's what they're...
And we're seeing the insane results from that.
It's crazy right now. But again, young men, listen, who you need to be looking for. I get that attraction is huge, but attraction fades. It fades from morning to evening. Just in terms of those beautiful things that you look at, and if that's the only thing that you're looking for in a woman, the Proverbs are pretty clear that beauty fades.
Yeah.
Now, I would say that there is an inner beauty from a woman that hits on the three things that she should be hitting. When she is pursuing being a helpmate, so she's a competent woman, that's attractive, especially, it's just in terms of what she's able to accomplish and do, that's huge.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I agree with that, but the inward beauty always has an effect on the outward.
100%.
Always. So, the kind of young lady that's just always kind of acting like a miserable cow, just has a horrible attitude and just always sour.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how beautiful she is. She's not beautiful.
Yeah.
And on the contrast, the young lady that always has the cheerful attitude and a smile and her eyes are, lit up and she cares about people, that kind of young lady, that beauty, it shines through to the outside. It affects her outward appearance.
Yeah, it's a woman who finds joy in how God has made her, and she's pursuing these things, and she's not competing with men. And when she finds her confidence in who she is, as a woman, I think that's incredibly beautiful.
Yeah. So a young man should be pursuing a young lady that is distinctly feminine. Mm-hmm. She's distinctly feminine. She's not trying to compete with men, like you just said, or act like a man, or whatnot. And it doesn't mean you don't have differing levels of, some women are there's a spectrum.
Sure.
There are women that are more tomboyish, if you want to call it that.
Handsome women.
But stop it. But they're still feminine.
Yeah.
And so, but you should look for young ladies that are distinctly feminine, that are pursuing what God made them for.
Yeah.
They're pursuing excellence in what God made them for. And what God made women for was to be helpers, to sustain, and to nurture.
Yeah.
Those are the things that God made women for. And so you should look for a young lady that is seeking to be a helper to her family, in the family she's in now, and those around her, in her community, in her church. And she is just always just abundantly willing to help and to support and to be, to fulfill that and to pursue that.
What do you mean by sustain?
So sustain, it is to take the provision that God has made men for and to turn that, multiply it, and to sustain life. I mean, on the basic level, you think about a man bringing home the bacon, right? Well, a woman takes that and she makes an incredible meal out of it.
Yeah.
And so, I bring home
dollars.
I bring home the dollars, the money, and my wife turns around and through her ingenuity and through her frugalness and through her intentionality. She takes that and turns it into incredible meals. She turns it into a beautiful home.
Yeah.
She takes and sustains life, not just...
She makes things beautiful.
Yes. So when I say sustain, I mean much more than just you're eating a piece of bread because you need the energy. It is the sustaining of life, abundant life, if you would, a life that is comfortable and enjoyable, and that your children love to be in your home because it's a comfortable place. It's a place where life is sustained and promoted.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
It does. I was thinking about Erica Kirk, and recently she talked about how, because Charlie's job had him gone at different times. He'd be on a tour or different things, so he'd be gone at days at a time.
Yeah.
And she had taken on the role. I never wanted my husband to feel like I was put upon by him doing that. I didn't want to come across as complaining or any of that kind of stuff. I wanted him to see our home as a respite and a place that he wanted to come. It was a warm place.
Yes.
I would put that in that category
yes.
of sustaining, where I am not being a nag. I love my husband. I love when I can have him around. I don't want him to feel like...
Well, she was
like his work competes with me.
No, she was embracing her role to make him succeed.
Yes.
And then she shares in that
that's
success.
a helper. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's embracing doing everything in her power to make him succeed.
Yeah.
So that's what a wife does. A wife works to make her husband succeed, and then that success is their success.
Right.
Brian Sauvé made a great point about this, after all of this had gone on with Charlie Kirk's assassination, just the fact that his success was her success. You can't separate them.
Yeah.
And so we tend to think of that as a competition. Well, he was more in the limelight than her, and this, that, and the other. Well, no, they weren't separate. They were together. And so the wife takes what the husband gives her, and she sustains life with it.
So how does a young man discern that his future spouse would be that?
So I can give a personal example. I remember watching Laura just interact with her family before we were married. When I was interested, we weren't dating or anything at that point. But I remember her even talking to her sisters about the kind of food they were going to make, what they were going to do. She was very organized, very well put together. Like everything around her, she was pleasant to be with.
Yeah.
And she worked hard to make their home a pleasant place.
Yeah.
And I remember, I'll never forget this. I remember what she was wearing. It was forever ago. But some of her siblings were saying, it was Sunday night. They were like, hey, let's go out to eat or something. And she turned to her dad and kind of hanging on his arm. She said, let's just go home and fix some food at home. And she was like listing stuff they had and what they could make. And she's just thinking through this. And it's like, I just fell in love. This woman's like, no, Dad, let's don't spend the money.
Let's spend money.
Let's save the money and we can make something good at home. And just that idea of even knowing what they had at home and knowing what she could make with it.
Yeah.
It just... Yeah.
So for me, my wife was just gorgeous.
Sure.
So we got this going on. I know you had that with Laura as well. So there's just that natural attraction. But my wife served. She loved to serve people. She was warm to people. People were warm back to her. They opened up to her. And to watch that's a good indicator. Somebody who loves to be helpful to people to a fault.
Yeah.
This is something that
they love to make life pleasant for others.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And for us, it's to a fault. I'll have to stop my wife and like,
100%.
Hey, we got to go. Stop receiving the confession of the checkout lady here who's bawling here. Like, lady.
Well, and I've been in situations with my wife where it's like we literally have every child in the house sick, and my wife's trying to make meals for somebody at church.
Yeah.
And I'm like, honey,
no,
stop.
You don't need to
stop.
You don't need to do that.
So, but and then the last one was nurture.
Yeah.
And so nurturing life, and that includes education, just nurturing young minds, nurturing those around them so that they're healthy in body, mind, and soul.
Yeah.
And so it encompasses everything.
And from that also, desiring that they can have children, desire to have children. Obviously, that's women are uniquely designed for incubation, for life and nurturing life and having it flourish in their bodies.
I don't like the use of incubation.
Well, they do. They
women grow their anatomy. They can grow a child and birth a child and feed a child with their body. Like it's unbelievable. It's undeniable. Like that. Their anatomy shows that they're made to nurture life, to sustain and nurture life, and so there's no escaping it. So young men, you should be looking for young ladies that are cultivating these things, that are pursuing excellence, that are ambitious about these types of things,
100%.
Distinctly feminine traits that God made them for. So,
yep, I think it'd be good. Yeah, if you're looking for that, and hopefully, like we said, we think that's happening tonight. We've got a great crop of ladies and guys here, and I've got high hopes for tonight. I challenged them too, like, you're Reformed, and if things don't happen here tonight, you don't lose track of your Reformed moorings. You got to hold on to the sovereignty of God. That God has a plan, and He's working it out for your good.
100%.
Yep.
All right.
Very good. Thank you.